Hi, so it's been a while since we last made a video, and it feels like ages actually, because of course what we've been doing is working quite hard at the factory all hours to get it all ready, because we're so near production and we want to get into production as quick as we can. So what we've done is clean the whole space out. I've got this half, Steve's got the other half for his production. And you can see it set out in a U shape, and we put it basically in stations of process of the battery. So the bare materials come in here, they get turned into our carbon precursors here, they get applied over at the back there, and they get turned into a battery there. Now, I'll give you a bit of better view and I'll move the camera so you can see what some of the stations and machinery are like. It actually takes surprisingly very little machinery. Now, we were looking at this and we thought about an automatic machine, and the machine cost £120,000. And we thought, that's a lot. How about, instead of doing that, we hire some people and do a semi-automated process. So there's going to be three of us to start with. There's going to be me, Steve, and a friend of ours called Stu. And we reckon we can produce one battery per person per day, or 5 batteries a week per person. With 3 of us, we think that we can produce 15 batteries a week. Now these are kilowatt-hour batteries, Group 27 car batteries. Should be able to make about 15 of those a week, or 3 a day, something around about that. Now there are 7 workstations and we're hoping to get 7 people eventually, so we should be able to make about 7 batteries a day, 35 batteries a week, and these are 100 kilowatt hour, 100 amp hour batteries. That means we're going to be producing in the region of 2 megawatt hours per annum. That's what we're hoping to get from our little production pilot line that we've got here. We spent so much time doing this obviously because we want to get into production as quickly as we can. We're going to take the first bits of those production and stick them in the Twizy. Yay, the Twizy! It is still an ongoing project. It is still what we want to do. We haven't done it because we've concentrated on the production process so that when we put them in the Twizy, we can make lots of them all the same. Anyway, let's have a look at a couple of the stations. I should warn you, flashing light. We still have the lights to look at, we've still got the electrics to look at. But this is the precursor production. So we mix up the materials here, we cook them and dry them here, then they get ground up and then they go into the kiln. We're still waiting on the arrival of the kiln. That should be next week, maybe the week after, but that arrives in about a week or so. And the precursors come in here to the precursor station and get made. Then they get cooked in the kiln, which is just next door. It's just going to be right there. And then we can cook them and turn them into the carbon. Once they've been turned into the carbon, they then get made into the ink. So the ink comes over to here and they get applied to this here to make this freestanding carbon electrode. Now remember, they're all carbon devices, so this is in fact the battery. Now on a piece like this, we only need 2 of these in order to make our battery, incidentally, which is why we can think we can make so many, because 2 of these cut up into 10 by 10 squares is what the battery actually is, and these get put in the battery case, and that's how we make the battery. But that's the key to what we're making. So we apply the ink here on to the substrate, then that goes into a drying rack, and when they're dry, they come out and go into the cutting station, which is just there, and that cutting station gets them sliced into 10 by 10 squares. Oddly enough, these are 2 key bits of machinery. This cuts out the battery pouches, incidentally, so we can cut out 200 at a time there. So we cut them out there, and this actually seals the battery pouches, so they get cut out, made and sealed. So they get made first, they go on to one, electrolyte filled, back to here, sealed, and then over there, and that is the finished battery. So very surprisingly few stages in making our all-carbon battery, which is kind of cool. It's obviously semi-automated, that is, you've got hand-operated machinery and we've got a group of people doing it as opposed to putting it on an automated process. The reason for that is it's very much cheaper for us to be able to do it, and we can get up and running, and we have a reasonable amount of production. Now I estimate we're about 4 weeks from actually producing these batteries. Somewhere around about there we should have all the equipment in that we need. We still need a few things. We need a pan filter, for example, is one of the things we need. We need a drying rack, it's another thing that we need. But apart from that, actually everything else is here. So what you've seen is the bulk of the machinery we're actually going to need in order to be able to produce our batteries. Minus those couple of things. There's always endlessly other things you don't realise you need. For example, we don't have any rubber gloves at the moment. We do need them, and we have some back at the lab that we'll bring up. But that's just an example of all the little things that you don't really know you're going to need until you get into it. But the bulk of the stuff is actually got now. So I estimate we're about 4 weeks from actually producing. A couple of weeks where we're going to basically mess it up, and then we should be making batteries in about 6 weeks' time at the rate of 1 battery per person per day. And that battery will be a kilowatt hour, or basically 100 amp hours, around about 12 volts, somewhere around about that. And we are extremely excited, obviously, with where we are. Very pleased about it. Now, in other news, Patty's asked me to remind you about the up-and-coming workshop. The Make a Battery with Rob kit is still for sale. Now, it should get to you in time. If it doesn't get to you in time, then we will send you an archive link. We don't know what that archive link is at the moment, because we have to archive it. But when we've archived it, only the people who bought the kit will get the archive link, and then you can go to the archive link. So if your kit's a bit late, because you order it now and you live in New Zealand or something, don't worry about it. There will be the archive link available for you, so you can follow it that way if you like. But anyway, I thought I'd mention those two things. One, primarily how close we are getting and how pleased we are, because it has been a struggle. It has been a lot of hard work. And it feels like I haven't actually done a video in ages, so I thought I'd keep you up to date with where we are. I hope that was of interest, and thank you very much for watching.